prototype version. In 1931, an idea sketched in shadow and secrecy, while Dr. Abraham Erskine was still in Germany, watching Europe tense before the storm, and working to perfect the serum in backroom labs under constant surveillance. The main ingredients used to create it were leaked to Hydra whispers, traded like weapons, by Wilfred Malek. By 1940, ambition had turned to conspiracy. After the outbreak of World War II, science marched with armies. A prototype version of the serum was tested on Johann Schmidt, Hydra's zealot-in-chief, in the hopes of making him stronger and faster beyond human restraint. However, the formula was highly unstable, a mirror that magnified the soul. After injecting himself with the serum, he embraced the risk. Schmidt gained enhanced physical abilities, power without balance. But since the formula lacked the necessary radioactive exposure of Vita rays, it caused severe facial deformation, his mask becoming his face, turning him into Red Skull in the process. Hydra's crimson icon, perfected serum, the perfected super soldier. Serum took shape like a vow, was developed by Dr. Abraham Erskine. A man haunted by what power can do, he began working on the formula in the 1,930 seconds, chasing balance, not brute force, while he was still in Germany, under a tightening fist, but later escaped to the United States, choosing conscience over comfort, where he joined the Strategic Scientific Reserve, the Allies' quiet think tank. There he perfected the serum and started Project Rebirth, a gamble on character, a program designed to transform Allied soldiers into symbols the world could follow, into enhanced super soldiers, but only if their hearts held steady. In June 1943, with the help of Stark Industries' audacious prototypes, injection tube and Vita radiation technology aligned science with hope. He decided to use the serum on his first and only subject, the smallest volunteer, Steve Rogers. The injection process was extremely painful, a crucible of will, causing Rogers to scream out in pain and agony as the chamber roared. However, by the end of the experiment, the room fell silent. The serum transformed his body to peak human condition, courage made visible, significantly increasing his height, rewriting his silhouette, muscle mass and enhancing his strength. Discipline turned to power, speed and endurance to superhuman levels. But never unmoored from purpose, it also cured all his pre-existing medical conditions. Brooklyn's frail kid reborn. Unfortunately, Erskine was killed by Heinz Kruger, a bullet ending the blueprint, taking the serum formula to the grave with him, leaving only a legend. Hydra's version. By 1943, the Black Labors resumed. Hydra captured numerous American soldiers, war's most brutal footnotes. They were presented to Arnim Zola, a scientist of cold arithmetic, to use as test subjects for his experiments. Ethics erased, aiming to recreate the serum without its conscience. Zola managed to create Hydra's first super soldier serum, crude yet potent, that didn't cause any side effects, at least not at first glance. Bucky Barnes was injected with the serum, friendship caught in crossfire, despite him not experiencing major physical changes in height or spectacle, or muscle like Steve Rogers did. His sinew hid storms. He gained strength that rivaled his steel. In a human frame, the serum in his blood became a lifeline. He managed to survive, falling several hundred feet into white silence. However, he lost his left arm on impact. Memory severed with flesh. Hydra later retrieved him from the cold and equipped him with an advanced prosthesis, a cybernetic arm that matched his super soldier strength. Mercy not included, they also brainwashed him to become a cold-hearted killer. Memories reprogrammed, turning him into Hydra's deadliest weapon, the Winter Soldier. The Winter Soldier, US government serum, wrote its own grim chapter. Following the influence of Steve Rogers in World War II myth-breeding mandate, the US attempted to create their own super soldier army in silence. They ended up producing several different versions of the serum, copies of a lost key, and forced African-American soldiers to be their test subjects. History's hidden scar, the soldiers who received the imperfect serum became unstable bodies, bearing the cost, and started dying, one after another, names folded into files. Isaiah Bradley stood against the tide, being the only soldier to receive a functioning version of the serum and survive. He was deployed during the Korean War to eliminate the Winter Soldier, Ghost versus Ghost, and ended up overpowering him and severely damaging him, proof written in bruises. However, Bradley was imprisoned by the government for opposing them, heroism redacted well, and had his blood constantly extracted by organizations like Hydra Science without consent, the CIA, because it contained traces of the serum, the secret everyone wanted. Howard Stark's serum. By December 1991, the past knocked on the present. Howard Stark managed to recreate the Super Soldier Serum brilliance in a briefcase. Using a sample of Steve Rogers' blood, the original map to the miracle, once Hydra found out, the old serpent stirred. They sent the Winter Soldier to assassinate Stark and his wife Maria, love ambushed on a road, and steal the serum. Hydra used it on their most elite Death Squad ice for their veins, turning them into Winter Soldiers, a chorus of silence. This version didn't require Vita radiation to be injected, streamlined, and ruthless, and gave its users even more strength than Hydra's previous formula, ferocity refined. One of them, Joseph, wore that strength-like armor, was even shown in sparring, overpowering the original Winter Soldier student, eclipsing Mentor. But the serum came with serious mental side effects, a mind fraying at the edges. Those injected with it became extremely aggressive rage as default, and harder to control over time, leashes snapping one by one. Eventually they turned on Hydra monsters facing the Maker, forcing the organization to put them in cryostasis winter without end, to prevent further damage. Sleep as a cage. Project Gamma Pulse in 2005. A new path split from an old road. General Thaddeus Ross drew the map, was tasked with recreating the Super Soldier Serum, only bigger, faster, to develop a new generation of super soldiers, an army of exceptions. For the United States military secrecy stamped on every page, he recruited Dr. Bruce Banner to lead the Project Brains, courting danger, a highly respected scientist for his work in biochemistry, nuclear physics, gamma law, nuclear physics and gamma radiation fields converging like storm fronts. Instead of using the original Vita radiation, Banner pivoted. Banner decided to experiment with gamma radiation, the wildest wavelength. He injected himself with the serum last resort as first step. The experiment turned Banner into a massive green creature, anger-given mass, fueled by rage that was far stronger than any super soldier limit rewritten. Despite Banner and Hulk existing as two separate personalities, one body, two storms, for years, Dr. Banner managed to merge both of them, science negotiating with self. Together, after the events of Infinity War, strength tempered by wisdom, American recreated variant power recycled with new risks. In May 2010, under the orders of Thaddeus Ross, the project breathed again. A variant of the serum had been recreated, lean, volatile, and was given to Emil Blonsky, a soldier chasing yesterday. Through multiple deep tissue and bone marrow injections, strength drilled into bone, transforming Blonsky into a super soldier precision-turned predator, able to perform superhuman feats, speed-stalking arrogance. However, this version of the serum had several side effects, cracks beneath the armor, including both physical and mental deterioration, judgment eroding, such as a deformed spine and aggression, body language of a beast. After Blonsky was given a transfusion of Hulk's blood by Samuel Stern's lines crossed, it got mixed with the existing serum in his body, alchemy of catastrophe, and mutated him into the abomination Envy, sculpted in flesh, a monster that rivals the Hulk in terms of strength, wrath, meeting wrath. Later on, Blonsky managed to gain full control of his transformation discipline, curbing disaster. Soviet recreated variant. During the later years of the Cold War's long dusk, the Soviet Union was able to perfectly recreate the serum parity by persistence and administered it to Alexei Shostakov, patriot, performer, hammer in hand. However, they were only able to recreate it once, lightning in a single bottle, leaving Shostakov as the Soviet Union's only official super soldier, lonely legend, and started sending him on missions as Red Guardian, a mask for a myth. While his strength was comparable to that of the Winter Soldier force without finesse, he lacked the same level of skill and combat efficiency, showmanship over sharpness. Replica serum following Hydra's disbandment. New hands sought old fire. The CIA recruited Wilfred Nagel, quiet, precise, dangerous, with the hopes of him being able to recreate the serum. No chambers, no fanfare. As the CIA possessed samples of Isaiah Bradley's blood history stored in vials, Nagel managed to recreate the serum that had been given to him, art paired to essence, but modified it so that its users did not undergo any physical changes, power that blends in, along with being able to self-inject the serum agency with a needle, without the need for a machine. No rebirth pod required, such as the rebirth pod ritual replaced by convenience, making this version of the serum the most efficient and the most tempting. By 2024, he managed to create 20 vials, 20 choices, 20 chances, which were later stolen by Carly Morgenthau, ideals outrunning control. She used the serum on herself, conviction amplified, and gave 7 other vials to members of the Flag Smashers Power-Gone Populist. Another 11 vials were destroyed by Helmut Zemo, one man against the pattern, leaving only 1 vial unharmed that was found by John Walker, duty meeting desire, who later injected himself, with it choice made in a heartbeat. becoming a super soldier strength without the shield's story. Golden Century Serum Project. Century's promise wrapped in peril, a program created to build the ultimate superhero perfection as policy. But the serum was so unstable that everyone who took it died aspiration as epitaph, except for one person. Bob Reynolds, the outlier history remembers, the serum gave him godlike powers. Sunlight poured into a single vessel, his strength, speed, his very presence, tilted rooms, and durability were way beyond anything seen with previous serums. Scales shattered. He was even able to easily overpower the Thunderbolt's power silencing numbers, a team that had 3 super soldiers on it, champions suddenly weightless. He also had a powerful healing factor days measured in moments, strong enough that he recovered in a matter of minutes, death downgraded, after being killed by the kill switch, rebirth as reflex. However, every sun casts a shadow. All that power came with an evil alter ego inside him called the Void, a hunger with a name. A living shadow that could cover entire cities in darkness, night falling at noon, sending everyone that comes in contact with it into a dark dimension, fear weaponized, where they're forced to relive their worst memories, punishment tailored by the soul. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into the evolution of the Super Soldier Serum, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on the story behind the legends. Don't forget to leave a comment and share your thoughts. What part of the serum's journey shocked you the most? We'd love to hear your take.